today is the beginning of episode number 3 of this, I think, 3-part episode of building Lego set number 75329, the Death Star Trench Run. In case you missed these first 2 episodes, go ahead and click in the links in the description or the cards up above. And as I said, we're getting ready for part number 3 here. We're going to start with bag number 5. In the first video, we went ahead and built this base here. This was primarily bags 1 and 2 of 6. Pretty beefy base, pretty nice size, got some good weight to it and a lot of detail. It was pretty fun to put this together. And I talked about, my thoughts on Star Wars and, over the years and etc., etc. You can go back and watch that. And then in the second video, we moved on into building this backplane. And I'm not quite sure if we left off here looking at this, starting with bag number 5. It looks like we're going to add a couple more details, but this was primarily bags 3 and 4. Not as beefy as the base, not as big. If I put these side by side, you can see where the base is almost just a little bit shy of 50% bigger here. But this is going to be, of course, the back plane here for this, and somehow we will assemble it in a way that's yet to be revealed. But moving forward right onto bag number 5, let's go ahead and get started. And for those that are following along, this is at the bottom of page 75, and we are starting with instruction set 94. And what I like to do is just empty out all the bags and go ahead and start our build. And see how many extra pieces that we have left over. Now, if you go back and look at the last video, we had some detail pieces that were left over back from videos 1 and 2, and believe me, I went in and double checked afterwards, and they are indeed extra pieces, which is kind of cool. Because at first glance you might think, well, why do I have these extra pieces here? Are they missing? Are they were they intended for something? Like I said before, it probably happens if you drop them, or the dog eats them, or it gets sucked up in a vacuum cleaner, or maybe you could, detail a little bit more things in them. But whatever it's worth, you do get some extra pieces here. So anyway, we're going ahead and starting here on instruction set 94. And I want apparently to build 2 of these little things like so. Now, I've been talking about Star Wars a little bit, especially in the first episode, and just so happens today I went to Target after work today. And by the way, these are going to go on the back plane here, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull this forward. And I went to go look at some of their Star Wars Lego collections there and see if I was interested in anything else. Now, along the set here, I've already mentioned I have the Yoda or the Dagobah Jedi training diorama, but I did happen to see the Endor speeder bike, and I also saw the throne room there today. Basically the same scale, same thing, 800 pieces or less. The speeder bike one, kind of cool. Comes with 3 mini figures, a speeder bike, 2 speeder bikes, I believe, and you're kind of racing through the trees. And it's basically an Imperial Scout droid, and I think we have Luke and Leia on the other one. But I don't know. Wasn't super impressed with that one. I'm not saying that I'm not impressed, but I kind of like this one a little bit better, and I think I like the Dagobah one a little bit better. Same kind of with the iconic Death Star throne scene that you see in Return of the Jedi, where you have Luke and Vader facing off in front of the Emperor. And gosh, I remember seeing that. When was that? 1983. And that whole scene, even though it's not super long, 5 minutes or so, just an iconic scene for me. I was like 13 years old at the time, and when that music hit, and Darth and Luke are fighting there, and the Emperor just sitting in the background. How awesome was that? Anyway, moving on, I am kind of just plugging along as I talk here. But I happen to see a couple other Lego Star Wars pieces there as well, different age sets. And as cool as they are, I'm probably not going to pick them up. I would be more interested in the adult sets, the ships, but they are super, super expensive. And I think I looked at the AT-AT, and it was, gosh, was it $849 for that thing? Cool, but yeah, I can't be dropping that kind of money on these anytime soon. But that being said, there is the new collection, not just Star Wars, but Lego has recently announced some of their newer sets that are coming, and they have a really, really cool one. And based on the price point, it's actually pretty impressive for the amount of pieces you get. It is I believe it's the Lunar Festival. I might be wrong, but it's like the Chinese. It's called the Festival Reunion or something like that. It's a 3-story. It's like a modular build, but it's targeted for ages 8 and up. But clearly, by looking at it, it looks more detailed than you would think it would be for an 8. It almost looks like it belongs in their modular building series. It's a 3-story building with a lot of Chinese architecture to it, or Chinese elements. Maybe a little bit of stereotyping there, but pays good homage to the Chinese culture, and at least their Lunar New Year, which I guess is right around the corner anyway. By when I'm filming this, I am filming this in early or mid-January of 2024, so it would not surprise me that Lego obviously timed that set to come out. You can get it on Target I actually was looking for it at Target today, but they're currently not in stock. You can get it on Amazon and from Lego directly, and it is $129.99 retail. And believe it or not, it's pretty hefty. It's like over 1,000 pieces for it. It's pretty nice compared to some of the other sets that are out there. Anyway, we're building some more detail here, and this is kind of interesting what this is going to be. Yeah, definitely kind of a heavier piece here on this. Was this a 1x8? No, 1x10. Anyway, flipping the page to page 78. And now even more details. So I am looking for one of these small looking rods. And one of these. And these. Definitely though, excuse me, this set, building this has really kind of sparked my interest, or kind of lit a fire under me as of recently, to possibly kind of get more into this hobby again. It's as I mentioned in episode number 1, I grew up on Legos when I was a young kid, but nothing to the extent that Legos are today, with all the various colors and shapes and advanced building techniques and just how these things are laid out, and they are just super, super impressive. And again, I mentioned this before, how they take other shapes from other sets and kind of recycle them. To me, this looks like it would be a spyglass from the Pirate series, or their ships, and they just molded it in this, in gray color, and it turns into, tubes and laser cannons and other things for their Star Wars or their space sets. So let's see. Okay, I got this. I am, for following along, I am on instruction set 100 here. And just kind of paying a little bit of detail or attention to detail here, because these pieces, how they put together, are a little bit more, not that it's hard, but when you're talking and filming, of course, getting these turned the right way. Yesterday, I think I had a piece that I discovered I had accidentally put backwards until I caught it a little bit later on, and making sure that everything looks exactly how it should be, which this one looks like for sure that it is. So we'll attach this. I don't know, is this like a radio tower of some sort? We've got another one of these, and these interesting, I kind of want to know what these are. They're like vents. They're like triangular vents, and I really I really do dig the shape of these. But let's see, put that together like so, and that will go like that. All right, now let's grab a couple more pieces for instruction set 102. And we want two of these gray things now. And let's see. All right, we want, oh wow, okay, these are all going to go on this top here just to add some color and detail and to hide some of the more traditional shapes, if you will. Okay, let's see. Oof. This is a nice big chunky piece. Now, one thing I would have liked, and I guess maybe I should take a look at the picture again. If I'm thinking the Death Star trench run, I'm also thinking they should have somehow incorporated, I would have loved to have seen, what do you call it? I would have loved to have seen a turbo laser, like, you know, the towers with the swiveling turret on the top with the two articulating laser cannons. I think that would be pretty cool to see on here. Okay, so I'm looking for a special piece. Okay, it looks like it's this piece right here. Yeah. So this is going to go on the nose, and then we're going to round that nose off with a little half circle looking thing like so. And then finally, we've got two more of these tiles and another one there. But yeah, thinking about it, it would have been nice, and you could have used those green acrylic see-through something like this, but the green acrylic to kind of symbolize the laser bolts firing, maybe make that a little bit bigger. But then again, how big can you make this thing without it possibly looking a little overboard, if you will? And then, of course, the cost has to increase, I imagine. And then this diorama turns into a much larger diorama and kind of breaks the size quotient compared to all the other ones. I think, I'm not sure, but I think they have to kind of limit how big these dioramas are so they're all relatively uniform. Okay, so we got to figure out where this goes. So looking at the bottom of page 79, this whole little structure here looks like it's going to fit into this slot somewhere, and I just got to get the orientation right. So yeah, it looks like it's going to fit right on the edge. Well, let's see. Can I get it in here? Oh, here's the thing. It looks a little... It wants to go on this middle piece here, but this... Oh, okay. Did we screw up here? This... I might have screwed up. This looks like this might have gone actually right here. Let me backtrack. I'm going to go back a couple pages. And just to make sure, yep, I screwed up. On page 93, or excuse me, page 74, instruction set 93, 92 that is, 93, that should have been there. So I was one over. That's why that wasn't going to fit. Okay. So I have to give Lego a lot of credit. They are really good with their instructions. Well, for the most part, they're good with their instruction sets. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more call out with these red arrows, especially with this, since there's a lot of gray here. But compared to some of the other brick manufacturers, I recently bought my dad a knockoff plane, like a P-52 Mustang plane that he could build at home. And you can tell the instruction set was mediocre at best. He struggled a bit with putting that together. And in all honesty, I had to take a look at it one day and kind of reverse engineer some stuff for him because he kind of got lost in it. And yeah, I don't blame him, because me looking at it, it was actually kind of tough to decipher that. And so you're also kind of paying for these manuals, I imagine, and the time and effort that goes into building these manuals out and testing them and double checking. And every once in a while, if you go online to some of the Lego groups on Facebook, every once in a while, you'll find some like really quirky call-outs that people kind of share, which are actually pretty funny. Some mistakes or some technical proofreading mistakes, if you will, that Lego has done, I'm sure by accident, and maybe they'll correct them in future editions. But anyway, we're all human, and even the best eyes and whatnot screw these things up. Okay, so we have two of these, and I have to figure out where these go. So we've got, looks like one goes down here next to this crescent thing, and then we've got one that's going to fit right in this section, and it's orientated this way. So yep, fits right directly in there. So two of the same pieces, two of the same builds. You just made two of them, and they just get orientated in two different things, and you might not even know. All right, moving on to page 82, and here's an interesting piece. Look at this. I can't imagine. This looks like, I don't know what this would be. Probably looks like it could have been from another set, like a radio tower set, some kind of grill that goes, cage that goes around a radio tower or something like that, a safety thing. But anyway, there's only one of these in the whole deal, and we are going to put this on this gray circular piece as such. And then we're going to look for this small sprocket right here, and now a grayish looking steering wheel. And let's see, face up, we're going to stick this right in the middle, like so. And then we're going to turn the steering wheel upside down and push that in. But in looking at this, now I just want to call something out. There's a little tiny groove right here that almost makes it look like there should be another piece attached to this, but I don't see it. At least it's not on the steering wheel, but if you look very closely here at this picture, yeah, it looks like there might be another circular thing on here, but there's no other call out for it. You just this sprocket and the steering wheel looking thing. So we'll just move on, and let's grab this and this. And it looks like this little holder goes on top of that. And okay, where does this go? Oh, okay, so now we turn this upside down. So this little coupler thing is going to snap onto one on an edge, like so. Interesting. All right. And looks like we're going to do something similar. We're going to grab more of these little pieces and build out another little thing that's going to couple on. So let's see, what pieces do we have here? We need one of these. So it's saying take this circular piece, this long one, and put this small cap on top, and then a coupler piece, and then this circle thing. And then we're going to flip it on its side, and on the opposing side and the opposite corner, if you will, we're going to click that into place. So it kind of looks like that. And then to add more to it, we are going to grab another coupler like this, and a circular piece, and another dome piece. And we are going to kind of sandwich them together. And apparently, if I'm looking this right, we are just going to clip it onto the end here, like so, so that they're almost meeting each other, like that, right there in the middle, which that's kind of cool. But yeah, so there we go with that piece. Okay. And moving on to the next page. We now need two of these little arm things, and I would say call it a gray lightsaber. And we need two of these like little double-sided hilts or axles, whatever you want to call them. And two of these gray pieces like such. Okay. Now, we are going to turn one of these on its side, and looking at the orientation of these, I just want to make sure they look the same in both directions, but I just want to make sure. I think that they are. We're going to push those into the bottom here, like so. And then we're going to take the two little arms, if you will, and put them in kind of like 90-degree angle, such. Let's see, kind of straighten that out a little bit like that. Oops. So far we have this. And oh, it looks like we needed both of these gray things here. All right, and then we're going to plug these two lightsaber looking things at the end, like so. And we'll secure that by taking this piece and flipping it and pushing that in so it's one coherent piece like so. And now this, looking at the orientation, is going to clip on to the bottom of this. And then we are going to try to find a place where this goes. Now it looks like, oh, okay, it's going to clip onto here. We got these two little brackets from that we placed earlier. And this is going to swing down and click into these two little brackets, like so. Oh, that's okay. That's pretty clever. I do like that. So not only are we secured here, we are also secured here. So this long piece kind of floating out, these pipes and whatnot, and how this connects all the way down to these pipes. That's pretty cool. All right. So moving on, we are now on page 86 and instruction set 114. And it is now asking to bring this big base into play. And we are going to slide said base right into here. Okay, kind of snaps in a little bit, but it's not secure. But then we have this gray and brown, which are, interestingly, two different sizes. I'm not quite sure why they're two different sizes. But then we are going to flip to the back of the diorama. And it wants us to put the brown one into one end and push it all the way in. And we're going to take the gray one and push that one all the way in. And there you go. That secures the back plane to the base. Excuse me for coughing. I'm going to have to take a little drink here in a second. And we are going to flip the page. And look at that. There we go. We are done with bag number 5. And it looks like we have like 4 little extra pieces left over. I'm going to take a quick little break just so I can grab a quick drink. And then we'll move on to bag number 6. All right, I'm back from grabbing a quick little drink, and probably the moment most of you have been waiting for, the very last bag, and we are going to build, I'm assuming, the ships. So we will dump out bag number 6. And contained within bag number 6, we have 2 more smaller bags. So we're going to dump these out into small little piles. And I'm interested to see how we're going to cover that little pink and orange part up. And I'm assuming we are, because you don't really see pink on the Death Star surface. But who knows? Okay, moving on to page 88. And we are specifically looking for specialized, this square piece right here, this 1x1, if you will, with projections on 5 of its sides and 1 circle. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, this has got some decals on it. So I'm assuming that is going to be for the face of one of the TIE fighters. So we want one without, and we are going to attach it to one side. And this is funny to me. So that's a whole instruction, 2 pieces just like that, and you plug one into the other. Instruction sets 117. This is funny to me. We just grab another one, and it looks like we just put it on top like so. So this is weird. See, so notice how this one has a red arrow showing you to plug it in on one side. Why doesn't this one have an arrow showing you to plug it in on the top? I don't know. Anyway, we will get one of these clear acrylic pieces and 2 of these bracket looking things. And it looks like, according to this, I got to orientate this the right way. We want one bracket facing down that way, one bracket on the opposite side like so. And this acrylic piece is going to go right up its keister. So we have that. And, oh, okay, this must be probably one of the TIE fighters. Okay, interesting. So here now is one of the spots with the print on it. And now I want to flip some of these over and see if there's any differences, because I imagine one has got to be for Darth Vader's ship and one for the other TIE fighter. Let's look at the front of this again. Now there's 3 TIE fighters, so we should have 3. There's number 2. Oh, and here's the third one. Okay, interesting. This one is clear plastic. That must be for Darth Vader's ship. And these 2 must be for the regular TIE fighters. So which one am I building? I think this is just a regular TIE fighter, it looks like. So I will use one of these ones here. And we are going to take 2 of these gray pieces as such, and we're going to put them on the side here. These will be, I guess, the struts for the wing supports. And let's go ahead and put the front on, and we'll kind of orientate it in a way that makes sense, turning it just a tad. And we're using 2 of these green acrylic sticks, which I guess are simulating lasers. And we'll put those in place like such. And now we want 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want 1 black circle. Or no, we want 2 black circles. And let's see, what are we doing here? We are building out 2 of these. It looks like they're going to be obviously the wings. So there is one like that. And there is the second one. And then we are going to attach them. And orientation, again, we want the kind of the long side up and down. And we want to match it on the opposite side right here. So we have our very first kind of TIE fighter. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I kind of wish the center was a little bit more shaped out. I think they probably could have used, you know, kind of a semicircular piece. Maybe. I don't know. All right. And that one is going to attach way down here in the front. So we are attaching our very first ship right there. So there is TIE Fighter number 1 down there in the lower right-hand corner. Now, it looks like we are going to build Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. So I want to find another one of these pieces here. And now I want a kind of one of these half domes. And we're plugging it into the back of this. And we're putting another circle on top, like so. And now we are trying to find a clear piece and this acrylic piece, probably to give it some height. And we're basically doing the same thing. We're going to run it right up to the keister of that one. And we're looking for 2 more brackets. So I see them here. Okay, there's a gray one. And oh, these ones are white. I'm looking for another gray one, aren't I? Yeah, I want 2 of these. Okay, there it is. There's a second one right there. And basically kind of the same idea. We are going to put these brackets down underneath, facing downwards, like so. And now we want 2 more gray pieces. And now let's use this clear piece. I think this is going to be Vader's. His is special. So I'm going to attach that to either side, like so. And we're going to put this clear piece up front. And then we want 2 more of these green acrylic lasers. And we're going to put those, snap those. Now, interestingly, these are pushed back a little bit further on the model compared to the first TIE Fighter. It's showing in the picture here that these are almost halfway back. But I don't know if it really matters or not. So here we need, now I guess we're on to the wings. We need 2 of those and 6 of these black pieces. And let's see, yeah, 6 of those. So we're going to build 1, 2, and 3. Oh, actually there's, okay, we're going to build 2 sets of these. So I see, well, there's different triangle pieces here. So these ones have a stud on the bottom, so they can connect to this 1x3 like so. And then we want 6 of these, which have a smooth top, and those will go on the top like so. So we have a gray piece running down the middle, and we have these 3 black pieces on top and on the bottom to make that kind of, I don't know what kind of geometric shape that is. I want to say rhombus, but I don't think it is. I don't know, it's, you know, kind of a triangle, but kind of not, kind of some kind of a parallelogram of some sort. Anyway, there we go. We have the wings there. And these are going to attach, just flat out attached to the sides here. No circular piece or anything like that. And that is more or less Vader's ship. Okay. So I have to admit, I don't know. I kind of like the generic TIE Fighter better than I like a Vader ship. I mean, I guess, again, you can only do so much with certain pieces, but I don't know. This one is a little bit more looser interpretation of Vader's fighter, if you will. And this one will go right here on this gray piece that's kind of up a little bit higher. And there we go. So there is ship number 2. And just so you guys can see, I'm flipping around a little bit right there. And I think we're gonna take a quick pause here. The lighting in here is getting a little dark, so I'm gonna pause, I think, and wait till we can get a little bit better lighting in here. Let me figure something out, because I'm kind of like looking off camera right now to the screen, and It's looking a little dark, but this is where we are right now. We're in the home stretch. We've got one more TIE fighter to build, and of course, Luke's X-Wing. So bear with me, and we'll be back here in a second. All right, back from a little break, and let's go ahead and continue to build here. So I have just completed putting on the two TIE fighters, Darth Vader's, and one of the generic ones here on the bottom of page 93, and I'm turning to page 94, where it looks like we are going to do the last TIE fighter here, which is pretty much the same that we saw in the previous build. And so nothing too exciting here. Now, thinking about these TIE fighters, I remember Christmas. Was it 1977? So the movie came out in 77, right? And so maybe it was Christmas. I don't know if it was Christmas of 77 or Christmas of 78, where I got my very first toy TIE fighter. And man, it, had a pop-off wings. It was white, and it had a little buzzer sound with it. And in addition to that buzzer sound, it had a cockpit that you could open up from the very top and place a single stormtrooper in there. And man, I just love that toy. I think it had two AA batteries, powered the laser light. It was a single red LED up front. I don't even know if it was an actually LED. It was just a little red light, and it made a little bit of a sound there. And oh gosh, I just remember how awesome that toy was. And of course, probably that same year I got my first X-Wing. And in all honesty, I don't remember when Darth Vader's TIE Fighter came out, but I was very excited to have that one. Basically the same premise, just it had the angled wings on it. And I had just one of those, of course, and boy, I don't know why. I was always a person into bad guys. Not just Star Wars. Not only did I like Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers and the Empire, I thought they were so cool. But that continued on into G.I. Joe and the Transformers. I loved Megatron and Soundwave from the Transformers. And G.I. Joe. I mean, who didn't love Cobra? I thought Cobra was just awesome. And okay, it looks like I'm missing. So I've got one front here, one back. Okay, I think I have one little cap up here on the front. But yeah, all throughout my childhood, I was a big fan of the bad guys. And of course, who could forget, panned or not, the Star Wars holiday special there, I believe on CBS. And we had the introduction of Boba Fett, who at that time was just an animated cartoon figure that had like a little 5 or 6 minute short on there. And that's the first time that anyone saw who Boba Fett was. And he had an interesting gun that did not appear in the movies, but did appear later on in, I believe they paid some homage to it in the Disney TV show. We saw a little bit of that gun there. And just a little fun fact, his ship, Slave One, I remember reading an article years ago that was based off of a street lamp, the design of it. If you were to look at it, and depending on where you drove your car in the United States, it was actually modeled after a street lamp profile. So go figure. Anyway, here we are with this TIE fighter. It's not shooting a laser that I can see because we don't have any more lasers left, but we are going to hook that on, it looks like, just to this clear piece. Now, looking at the instruction 135 at the top of page 95, we see it just looks like it's plugged in here. Obviously, that's why this little clear thing is, but it doesn't show you where. I kind of wish this was a little bit more secure. It doesn't feel like it is, and it also feels like it's very close. When I look at this picture, it seems like this is further back. I can't push that in anymore, but this seems very, I'm going to tilt it a little bit. It just seems very close, if you will. This TIE fighter here just seems very, very close to this one. But I really can't tell. You know what? Matter of fact, let's grab the box here and take a quick look at the box. Okay, so yeah, the box shows a little bit of a better angle here. And it looks like it is plugged into this top, or this very bottom one here, latched on. So it gives a little bit more of a appearance of height right there. So boy, this feels very delicate. Now I understand why they have to do that, but compared to these two here, this one is just kind of hanging on by that one. So that's a little precarious to me. Okay, so I think all we have left now is this X-Wing. Or no. Oh gosh, remember, was it the last episode I was talking about the turbo laser? This might be a turbo laser tower here. So we're going to use 4 of these really tall bricks like that, and now we're finally going to cover up this pink and orange brick. And there we go there. Gosh, I guess I wasn't even paying attention. Earlier I kept thinking to myself, this is missing a turbo laser, but apparently here it is. So we've got 3 of these blocks right here and this topper. So we're going to put these 3 and 1, and that's going to go right there on the top to form the actual tower. Now we're going to build the turret itself. So turning the page, and yep, looks like at the page 98 at the top, instruction set 138, we have the instructions for that. So again, it looks like we're recycling a few pieces again. Looks like we're going to use these little lightsaber hilts, if you will. And I'm just separating out the pieces here so I know what we have. We want 2 of those. We want these 2 things. We want this one gray one. We want 2 of these door handles. And we want 2 of these flat 1x1s right here. Okay. So let's see what we're going to build here. I'm going to take this piece, and it looks like we are just attaching these 1x2s to either side like such. And then we are taking this flat 1x1 square and putting it on opposite sides of this again, so it looks a little bit like this. And then we are putting 2 blocks, these 1x1s, on top there, like so. And then we will go ahead and put this triangle on top. or this triangular piece. There's a lot of different various triangles in here. Hard to say which one is an actual triangle as opposed to which one is not. Okay. Let's see. How do we orientate this? Okay, next we're going to use the triangular piece, and we are going to put the little cannon piece there and put it on one side like so. Oh, that's pretty clever, actually. Again, I have to give the designers credit for looking at these pieces and figuring out just the way to do this, that it makes sense. I just have to reverse this one here a little bit. And then we're going to put this one into place. And then finally we put these two, let's see how, okay, it has this orientated this way. So then we're going to go ahead and put the little lightsaber hilts, make sure that they're facing the same direction to make these cannons as such. And then we are going to plunk it right down on this top piece. Now, it would have been interesting if they would have had like little lasers firing out of there, but I guess not. Okay, flipping the page. And now it looks like we are getting ready for the X-Wing assembly. So it looks like we're building the support structure, if you will, first. And kind of looking at this, we're going to turn this upside down. And interesting, I don't know why we're adding blue here as opposed to another clear piece. Now I know this X-Wing is at a slight angle, but I'm not quite sure why that piece is blue, but it is what it is. Okay, so that is going to plug right here into this base, like so. And now we're getting ready to build the X-Wing. I'm just going to move this back a little bit so I have some room here. And I'm going to flip these pieces over just a tad. Gosh, we have, which I don't know why, there are 3 of these things. I wonder if this was supposed to be, oh, you know, now that I'm looking at this, these things, and I'm looking at the picture, of the TIE fighter, it looks like all 3 TIE fighters do have the same window, and this, which I thought previously was a window of a TIE fighter, is actually the head of R2. So let me take a, yep, there's a little red dot on there. So my mistake. We're going to switch that out and put this clear piece on there. And we'll have to do it for the other 2 TIE fighters as well, so that they're uniform. Interesting. I have no idea why then there are 3 of these, because those are clearly the head of, now that I see it in closer into the picture, that is the head of R2, the astromech droid. And so finally, let's, oops, how do we get Darth Vader's ship off here? Well, it looks like I already had that for Darth Vader's ship. Okay, so there's just a bunch of extra of these pieces. And, oops, put that back on. Let's see, kind of change that up just a tad and put that back into place. So we have 2 astromech tops, and we have 1 additional clear piece. So we have, it looks like a couple extra pieces there. Okay. So first we want this 1x2 as such. And we want 2 more of the door handle looking things, which look like this light gray color. And we are going to put them on that 1x2 and kind of straighten them out just a tad. When I was younger and I had my own toy X-Wing, and my friend Roland had one, and there was another boy in the neighborhood that had a X-Wing as well. But unfortunately, his X-Wing had broken the canopy, the clear plastic cockpit canopy had broken off, or he lost it. But his dad was pretty ingenious. I remember his dad remade him a cockpit canopy by taking a piece of plastic. Now, mind you, this is 1978, and I don't know what kind of material it was. I mean, it was definitely plastic, and it had some hatch marks on it. Almost like it had like a wire mesh embedded in it. Well, his dad had cut out the basic shape of the canopy and kind of heated it up. And in heating it up, was able to make it somewhat pliable and bendable. And when he was able to do that, he was then also able to shape it and kind of fit. So, I mean, it was pretty obvious it was homemade, but I thought that was pretty cool that his dad had, kind of fixed it for him, if you will, so he didn't feel left out or anything like that, or, that his starfighter didn't have a canopy, which made his relatively unique. And I guess that has stuck with me all these years. Okay, going back to this, it looks like, excuse me, the head of R2 is going to go right here, and we're going to put his eyeball, if you will, facing, I guess this would be considered the front, and this would be considered the back. And next up, we're going to grab some additional pieces. Looks like we're making the rear part of the X-Wing now, part of the fuselage. And let's see. And there are 4 of these gem-looking things, which I imagine are going to be the exhaust, if you will, or the kind of the glowing effect of the engines. So looking at this, let's see. So first we want to take this piece here and attach that as such, and then attach this, and then we want to flip it over, and we want to put these black or dark gray circular things upside down, if you will. I don't know if it's really upside down. We're just kind of inverting them here. And so it looks like so. And then we're going to go ahead and push these gems into them, which would be the glowing exhaust. And then from there, we're going to flip it over here, and now this is going to go in to the holes, I guess, to look more or less like this. So that's part of our X-Wing right there. All right, flipping the page to page 102, and now we are making the wing parts, actual wings themselves. So we've got 2 of these. It looks like the top ones, and we want 2 of these white couplers and 2 of these red couplers, and we have 2 of these and 2 more lightsaber hilts. And let's see, we're going to build this twice. I guess one for one side, or the top side, and one underneath. Okay, and then we are going to take our lightsaber hilt and we are going to plug it. Let's see, which way is this going here? It looks like this square part is in the back, so we want to make sure that we have them orientated the same way on all of them. And then we're going to grab the second wing and do the same thing. So we've got one red and one white. And let's see, looking at this, we are going to take this first red one, or do I have the, do I do them backwards? No, I didn't do them backwards. Okay. These will be turned into our S foils. So we have one facing this way. And then we're going to flip the other one upside down. And that will create the S foil on this side. So it looks like so. It's a little wonky. We can adjust this, I guess, in a bit. And now we're going to do the other side, the exact opposite. Same thing, opposite sides. So again, we want two reds, two whites. We want two lightsaber hilts and two of these. And we're going to push this in, making sure they're the same direction. And now we want a white one here and a red one there. And we'll orientate this the same way, just so we're matching. We want a white and we want a red. Kind of line those, line them up so they're kind of flushed. It's not 100% flush. There we go. That's a little bit better. Just trying to turn these just a tad. There we go. So they're nice and flush. Okay. And then, let's see, it's attached to the red side. So let's see here. This will be on this one. And this will be this one. And now we're going to go ahead and plug it in on here. And boy, that is so clever. Now that I'm seeing how this is done, look at that. Okay. So we just got to straighten that out, or just kind of modify that a little bit. But look at that. That's pretty cool, don't you think? That is pretty neat. Okay, so we've attached those two there, and now it looks like we're doing the canopy or fuselage. So we want this 1x3. We want this. We want one of these. We want this one smoky plastic clear triangle piece, and we want one of these. All right, so finally assemble like so, like that. And then we're going to take this smooth piece here and this piece like so. And we're going to put another cap on the front of it like this. And then we are going to put the nose cone here. And then we are going to put the smoky piece as such. And then we are going to attach it like that. That, my friends, is pretty freaking clever. I really dig the design of this more so than the TIE Fighters. Now, TIE Fighters are cool. Again, I kind of wish Darth Vader's was shaped a little bit differently, but this is by far pretty darn creative. And finally, this is it. We are going to add our X-Wing to the space right here. And again, I do not know why that piece was blue and not clear, but I guess it really doesn't matter. But there you go. That is our X-Wing, and we have some leftover pieces here, again, to add to our group that we didn't use. But there you go, folks. There is our Death Star trench run. And that was, of course, over 3 separate videos, 6 bags, 665 pieces. I built this over, well, gosh, I depending on how this editing goes, and I know I've done a lot of talking here, but friends, I want to say we're coming up on 3.5 hours, 4 hours, maybe if I put all, cut all everything and string it all together. It was a 4-hour build. Yeah, I dig it. I like it. It's probably a little bit better than I anticipated, I guess. So my overall impressions, just to wrap this up, I like the base a lot. I thought the base was fun to build. I liked these 2 big chunky pieces down here. I liked this curved piece. I liked inverting the steering wheel and some of these things down in here. I think there's a lot of cool detail on the bottom, and it feels nice and sturdy. The backside, I like as well, but I will admit I like the base a little bit better. I kind of wish that the wall, the back side of the trench was a little bit, or the wall of the trench was maybe a little bit higher. I kind of want it a little bit better. I already just talked about the TIE Fighters. I think Darth Vader's could use a little bit of improvement. I'm very impressed. I really am impressed, actually, looking at how this is built with just the few pieces that it really came together, and that X-Wing is pretty darn cool. I wish there was maybe some moving parts on here, not necessarily electronic moving parts with engine. I mean, you have this turbo laser right here that turns. I think maybe I would have liked to have put some kind of, red or green kind of laser cap on here. I suppose if I had another blue one, I suppose I could do something, or maybe look better in green or red. Probably green. Yeah, because that would be canon with the movies. Get another, if I could find some of those green acetate clear pieces and put them on there, that would have been pretty cool. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I guess I don't know what you could have done for moving parts on here. It's not very interactive. I realize it's just a diorama. But overall, I enjoyed this build pretty much. So guys, I think I'll wrap the video up here. If you enjoyed this build and are okay with my ramblings, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below. And hopefully, if you guys like this one, just to give you a little taste here, let me move this box off. Again, I have in the box, I have not built this yet. I have the Dagobah Jedi Training, and this is 1,000 pieces. And I think maybe that might be my next build right there. And anyway, until next time, my name is Jason, and thanks for tuning into my channel. And again, if you're so interested, you can go over to my other YouTube channel, which is Pips-N-Chits, and there is more my gaming side, or you could see me unbox board games and play some solo games, flip and write, blah blah blah, etc. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye bye.